Hello and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to discuss polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are also called glycans. They are ubiquitous in nature and they are composed of long chains of sugars, and they differ from each other in the identity of their reoccurring monosaccharide units. They can be made up of glucose subunits or they can be made up of some other sugars. They also differ in the length of their chain, so they can be thousands, they can be hundreds of monomers. They differ in the types of bonds by which they are linked, so they can be alpha 1,4 linkages, they can be alpha 1,6, alpha 1,2 and alpha 1,3 are also there. And they also differ in the degree of branching, they can be branched and they can be unbranched. On the basis of their functional functions, they can be classified into two separate groups, structural and storage. However, we have another classification on the basis of their chemical properties. They are heteropolysaccharides and homopolysaccharides. Now first are structural polysaccharides. So structural polysaccharides, they provide mechanical stability to the cell and they help in building up the structure of the cell. Whereas storage polysaccharides, they serve as carbohydrate stores. So they are released from the body whenever they are, whenever in case of emergency they are required, we can release fuel from the stored polysaccharides. Structural polysaccharides, they serve primarily as extracellular or intercellular supporting elements, whereas storage polysaccharides, they are in continuous metabolic turnover. So structural polysaccharides mainly are for providing a structural support to the cells, organs and organisms, whereas storage polysaccharides can help fuel our body during emergency. Examples of structural polysaccharides can be cellulose. Cellulose is found in plant cell wall, and that crunch sound comes whenever you eat a raw vegetable. That's because you have just broken a cell wall. And next we have mannan. It's found in yeast cells, and chitin in the shells of arthropods and cell walls of some fungi. Examples of storage polysaccharides can be starch, present in plant cells and bacteria, and glycogen, present in animal cells, and peramylum in certain protozoa. So starch and glycogen, they are very well-known storage polysaccharides because they have much use. So let's discuss them one by one. And on chemical basis, the polysaccharides can be divided into two broad classes: homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Homopolysaccharides, so all the constant sugars are the same, their monosaccharide units are same, but still they can be branched or unbranched. You can see here branches, usually they are alpha 1,4 linkages and alpha 1,6 along with that. Unbranched only have alpha 1,4 linkage. So they contain only a single type of monomer. First polysaccharide which we will discuss will be cellulose. So cellulose, you can see from the structure, it has beta 1,4 bonds. Beta 1,4 bonds are very hard to digest, and also there are enzymes which digest cellulose. They are called cellulase. We can't digest those enzymes. We can't digest cellulose because we don't have cellulase enzyme inside our body, so we can't digest beta bonds, whereas ruminants can because they have those microorganisms in their gut which live in symbiotic association with them. So it's a linear unbranched homopolysaccharide of D-glucose units joined by beta 1,4 glycosidic linkages. It is the most common of all polysaccharides and also the most abundant organic substance in the living world. So cellulose are very much common and they are abundant also. More than half of all organic carbon which is present in nature is cellulose. Cellulose is also a major component of plant cell walls, and chain lengths vary from several hundred to several thousand glucosyl units. Glucosyl refers to glucose, so their glucose monomers can be hundreds to several thousands. Next polysaccharide we will be discussing is starch. Starch is again a storage polysaccharide, and it is a branch chain of D-glucose units. It is storage form of glucose in plants. Plants use starch for storage because that can be helpful for germinating seeds while they are growing. So it is made up of amylose and amylopectin. You can see here alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 linkages are there. So starch is a nutrient reservoir found in plants, and it usually occurs in cells in the form of granules which are visible by both light and electron microscopy. Starch is made up of two components, amylose, which is unbranched, and amylopectin, which is branched. From the structure you can see these alpha-1,4 linkages, they belong to amylose, whereas alpha-1,4 along with alpha-1,6 belong to amylopectin. So amylopectin, they are branched forms. Amylose, they only have alpha-1,4 linkages within them. So they consist of long unbranched chains of D-glucose residues connected by alpha-1,4 linkages, and such chains vary in molecular weight from a few thousand to more than a million. Whereas amylopectin units, they also have a high molecular weight up to 100 million, but unlike amylose is highly branched. So after every 24 to 30 residues, these amylopectin units, they have alpha-1,6 branches. The glycosidic linkages joining successive glucose residues and amylopectin chains are alpha-1,4, and the branch points occurring every 24 to 30 residues, they are alpha-1,6 linkages. There is a test called iodine test. It is used to test the presence of starch. So if there is a presence of starch in the sample, so amylose, which is present in starch, will form this deep blue color when it reacts with iodine. Otherwise, iodine does not give blue color. It gives blue color only along with starch. So next polysaccharide we have glycogen. Now glycogen is again a storage polysaccharide, and it's also called animal polysaccharide. It is a major storage form of carbohydrate in animals, found mostly in the liver and skeletal muscle. So in humans we require glycogen in skeletal muscle. So whenever we are running or we are doing exercise, during vigorous exercise, whenever you deplete an energy, you can use those glycogen stores. It's a highly branched form of amylopectin. It is much more branched than amylopectin of starch actually. It has alpha-1,6 branching points which occur every 8 to 10 D-glucose residues, which is unlike amylopectin where branching points occur every 24 to 30 residues. And the later are in alpha-1,4 linkages. You can look at the structure of the glycogen, it's too complicated. So many branches are there. Alpha-1,4 and 8 alpha-1,4 linkages, and after every 8 we have alpha-1,6. So obviously it will be a branch structure. Next we have dextrins. They are bacterial and yeast polysaccharides made up of alpha-1,6 linked poly-D-glucose. They have alpha-1,2, 1,3 and alpha-1,4 linkages as well. And they are found in dental plaque formed by bacteria which grow on the surface of teeth. Synthetic dextrins are also available commercially, and they are used in fractionation of proteins during gel permeation chromatography. And they are chemically cross-linked so that they can form complexes of various porosities, of various pore sizes, so that through these pores during fractionation proteins can pass. However, dextrins are not much talked about. And next we have chitin. Chitin is a structural polysaccharide again. It is found in orthopods. It serves as a outer skeleton of orthopods. So it's a linear homopolysaccharide composed of N-acetyl-glucosamine residues in beta linkage. Now the difference between N-acetyl-glucosamine and cellulose, N-acetyl-glucosamine and glucose, they differ only in the OH. So this OH is replaced by NHC double bond OCH3. NHC double bond OCH3 is acetylated amino group. So this is the only chemical difference between cellulose and chitin. It's the replacement of the hydroxyl group at carbon second with an acetylated amino group. It is the principal component of hard exoskeleton of nearly 1 million species of orthopods like insects, lobsters and crabs. And probably it's the second most common abundant polysaccharide in nature after cellulose. Next we will be discussing heteropolysaccharides. Unlike homopolysaccharides, they don't have same repeating monosaccharides, but they have, instead of monosaccharides, actually they have disaccharides. They have two different monosaccharides which repeat. Hyaluronic acid, keratin sulfate and chondroitin sulfate, they are components of cartilage tissue. Hyaluronic acid is an unbranched heteropolysaccharide. They contain repeating disaccharides of N-acetyl-glucosamine and glucouronic acid. So they are bounded with each other via alpha-1,3 linkages, N-acetyl-glucosamine and glucouronic acid, And but successive disaccharides are linked by alpha 1,4. So initially they are bound by alpha 1,3 bond, and after that alpha 1,4 linkages. Hyaluronic acid is found in other connective tissues also. It's found in the synovial fluid of joints, in the vitreous humor of eyes, and also in the capsules that enclose bacteria. There can be few bacteria which are encapsulated, so in them they are found. Next we have keratin sulfate. It's a repeating disaccharide forming an unbranched chain. So it's an unbranched polysaccharide, and it also has repeating disaccharides. It's made up of galactose and sulfated N-acetyl glucosamine. Sulfated because it has a SO3 minus group. And after that we have chondroitin sulfate. It is a repeating disaccharide consisting of alternating glucouronic acid and sulfated N-acetyl galactosamine residues. And last we have peptidoglycans. Bacterial and algal cell walls, they contain structural heteropolysaccharides which are called peptidoglycans. Again, they are called heteropolysaccharides because they are made up of repeating units of NAM and NAG. And we'll see what NAM and NAG is. NAM is N-acetylmuramic acid and NAG is N-acetyl glucosamine. So the rigid component of bacterial cell wall is a heteropolymer of alternating beta-1,4 linked NAM and NAG. NAG is N-acetyl glucosamine and NAM is N-acetylmuramic acid, and they are linked to each other via beta-1,4 linkages. So this is how they provide mechanical strength to the bacterial cell walls. And that's all about polysaccharides, and with this we have finished with carbohydrates. Do let me know in the comment section if you want me to post a video of your choice, a topic of your choice, and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.